She was fired for a typing mistake, and that same mistake earned her $47.5 million. Dallas, Texas, 1954. A woman sat at her desk, struggling to hold back her tears. But they refused to stop. Her name was Bette Nesmith Graham. She was a divorced, single mother, a high school dropout, raising her young son on $300 a month. Every paycheck was her lifeline. Every performance review, a warning bell. And there was one truth she carried silently in her heart. She was a terrible typist. The new IBM electric typewriters were ruthless. One wrong key, and the entire page had to be retyped. Sometimes several pages. Carbon ribbon erasers only smeared the ink. There was no cure for a mistake, except starting over. Every typo whispered the same fear. Maybe I don't belong here. Every error felt like a termination notice. The moment no one else noticed. One December afternoon, exhausted and overwhelmed, Bette stared out the bank window. Artists were painting Christmas decorations on the glass. They made mistakes too. Lines went crooked. Shapes got distorted. But they didn't panic. They simply painted over the mistake and moved on. And in that quiet moment, a dangerous thought crossed her mind. Why can they fix their mistakes and I can't fix mine? A kitchen experiment that changed history. That night, in her tiny kitchen, Bette took out a blender. She mixed water-based paint and matched it to the color of bank paper. Poured it into a nail polish bottle. Picked up a fine watercolor brush. The next day, she secretly brought it to the office. Her hands trembled at the first typo. She applied the paint. Waited. It dried perfectly. Clean. Invisible. Gone. Her boss noticed nothing. But the other secretaries did. They whispered. They asked questions. They wanted some. Soon, every night, Bette was filling bottles in her kitchen. Her son Michael and his friends helped. They earned $1 an hour. She named it. Mistake out. The firing that became freedom. By 1957, she was selling 100 bottles a month. In 1958, she renamed it Liquid Paper and patented it. An office supply magazine featured her story. 500 orders poured in. General Electric ordered hundreds of bottles. Bette was working 2 jobs until exhaustion caught up with her. One day, while typing a letter at the bank, her mind drifted to her business. Without realizing it, she signed a letter with her company's name instead of her boss's. She was fired on the spot. Most people would have broken. Bette felt something else. Freedom. No boss. No hiding. No permission to ask. She went all in. From shame to strength. She improved the formula. Built clients. Created a distribution network. In 1962, she married Robert Graham, who joined the company. In 1968, a modern factory opened in Dallas. By 1975, 25 million bottles a year were being sold worldwide. Then betrayal struck. Her husband tried to seize the company, push her out, change the formula to strip her rights. Bette refused to surrender. She protected her 49% ownership, filed for divorce, and won. The deal no one expected. In 1979, Bette Nesmith Graham sold liquid paper to Gillette. Price, $47.5 million. The woman who once cried over unpaid bills became one of America's richest self-made women. Yet she didn't disappear into luxury. She founded business and art institutions for women, created workplaces with childcare, libraries, and dignity. She proved that profit and humanity can coexist. A legacy greater than money. On May 12, 1980, just 6 months after selling the company, Bette passed away due to complications from stroke. Age 56. Her son Michael inherited her fortune. You may know him as Mike Nesmith of the Monkees. He later said, "My mother made millions of secretaries' lives easier." And even today, the irony echoes. The woman fired for a mistake, built an empire from that very mistake. The secretary once called a failure, changed off the mother surviving on $300 a month, rewrote her destiny. This is not the story of a bottle of white paint. This is the story of refusing to quit, of turning weakness into strength, of creating solutions instead of asking permission. The mistake that got her fired is what set her free. She didn't just erase typos. She rewrote her entire life. With a single brushstroke,